Hello, this is Carla Marie with Fun Schooling the Sensational Six again, and I wanted to do a video on why everyone should not be a child led learner or unschooler. Basically, we know in the homeschool world that everything is not for everyone, and although it works awesomely for my family and hundreds, thousands of other families, it may not work for every family. But I wanted to say, basically give 8 tips on why you would not want to be a child led learner. Kind of humorous in some ways and a reality check in other ways. That these are things that would be necessary if this is the lifestyle that you had planned on pursuing. So, number one, you do not want to be a child led learner if you're not ready to give up 100% control over your child's day and all the hours that they spend uh, throughout their day. It's important when you pursue unschooling, child led learning, or any interest led type of format or lifestyle in your home that you learn to kind of back up and give up some of that control. Because in order for it to be child led, it is just that. You kind of back up and watch, and you're more of a facilitator than a teacher. So that's one reason why you would not want to be a child led learner if you just can't give up that control. Number two, if you're not ready to give it time to work. Now, I have people inbox me all the time and they're like, oh, I want to do this. And it sounds so fun and so exciting. It sounds just like what we want to do. And 2 weeks in, they're like, I can't take it. This isn't working. And I get it. It takes time. But if you're not willing to put in the time and give it time to work, it's not going to work. So you probably don't want to be a child led learner if you're not willing to give it time to work. Number three, don't think if you do not think it is going to work. If you don't think it's going to work, it's not going to work. You know why? Because you're going into it with the mindset that this is not going to work for you. And so it's not. And that's just like with anything else in life. Your attitude is going to determine the success or the outcome that you have. Number four, you do not want to be a child led learner if you are afraid of what others think, especially other homeschoolers. Because most people that are not homeschoolers don't know the difference from a homeschooler and a Charlotte Mason or unschooler or whatever, what have you. But homeschoolers know. And there are groups and there are cliques and there are people that are dead set against it and people that are wavering and people that are all for it. And you go, that's great, that's awesome. You don't want to be a child led learner if you're worried about what other homeschoolers think. Trust me. Number five, if you are not willing to look at learning as a natural part of who your child is. If you think that learning is a switch that is turned on and off, you don't want to be a child led learner because you have to begin to look at learning in a different way. And I always suggest that people read some of the material of John Holt and kind of open your eyes to really what learning is and how learning works with children and with all of us, to be honest. So, number six, if your spouse does not agree with it. Now, this is a serious one. I know I've been kind of joking around, but if your spouse is not in agreement with transitioning or changing the way that you're doing things, you probably don't want to. Part of homeschooling is relationships, and you don't want to upset the environment or the relationships in your home by trying something that your spouse is not in agreement with. So you definitely don't want to be a child-led learner if your spouse is not in agreement. Number seven, if you want all your children to do and experience the same things. You don't want to be a child-led learner if you're trying to do a one-size-fits-all homeschool. It's not going to work because every single child is different and you're going to need to be able to be flexible and give each child experiences and resources that are completely different from all of your other children. So, very important. And last but not least, you do not want to be a child-led learner or unschooler if you are not willing to let go of traditional hours and traditional days and traditional schedules. Okay? You don't want to do it if you can't let go of that. Because the brain and creativity and curiosity do not turn on and off or have hours of operation. They are always going. So you have to be free and open and flexible to work with your children when they are on a path, learning and exploring something new, that you're there with them, helping them, whether it's Sunday at 3 p.m., Saturday at midnight, or Tuesday at 11 a.m. Whatever it is, that you're there to help them, encourage them, and facilitate that learning and the exploration. So, again, everything is not for everybody, but I thought this would be a good video to do, to kind of give you a good chuckle, but also to make you think, is this for me or is it not for me? I don't know. You decide. Have a good night.